a very wonderful ticket. You know, you have Kristen running for the clerk. You have two wonderful freeholder candidates with John and Claudia. We have to do our very best to raise money. They've been out there just really kicking it and knocking it down. I know this will be a really tight race, but I'm telling you, this is the final stretch. They've worked so hard. It's time for us to get behind them and pull them over the finish line. I look forward to a victorious ticket in November. And John, keep up the good work.
We're really very proud that we've had the ability to honor our four former Republican governors. People, when we said four governors, they said, "Are you bringing Corzine in and McGreevy?" I said, "No, not at all. Not on the agenda. Not tonight." But we're really happy to celebrate their governorships and the great times the Republican Party had under their stewardship. And I think they deserve a round of applause for all the things they've done. Without doing a flag salute. I have flags on my little Republican, so we can, you know, whatever. But let's salute our great flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, we're pleased to have our first guest here tonight. And I'm very, very proud to have said that I served in that administration. I served very proudly in that administration. Governor Whitman was an absolute treasure to work for. She was a lot of fun, kept you on your toes, but she was a lot of fun. And we did a lot of great things, I think, when we were in Trenton together. I am so pleased that she was on this phenomenally crazy schedule, offered to join us this evening, and I'm so proud that she's here. So I'd like to welcome Governor Kean and Whitman.
And it's good to be here with Governor Bennett, and I'm sorry the other two couldn't make it, but we'll do our best to stand in for them and try to make sure everybody understands the record that they made while they were in office. I want to first of all say to all of you, congratulations on having this man as your chairman. Hard worker and someone of whom I know you will be and have been very proud. We have, as we always do in New Jersey, an election surprise. Every year we go through this, and every year it gets hard. This county is tough. This county you have to fight hard, but you're coming back. And the thing that's the most important to remember here in Passaic is Republicans have to stick together to make it work. And we can do it. If Republicans the state of New Jersey is changing. Passaic County is changing. We don't have the luxury anywhere in this state of letting ourselves get involved in internecine warfare. We have too important a message to get out there. Our form of governance is too important. We need to have, in every county, we need to have viable two parties. We need to make sure, I'm a little worried about this election, but I'll tell you why, because I don't think the turnout's going to be that great. I don't sense a whole lot of enthusiasm for our incumbent senator. I don't think Cory Booker is generating the excitement, and Jeff Bell's having a tough time getting attention. And so we, frankly, in this country, it's one of the things that bothers me more than anything else, we have an abysmal record of voting. In elections like this, when Congress is the top of the ticket, and Rodney, as hard as he works, can tell you about this, we still only get a little over 34% turnout. That means a very small percentage of the electorate is making big decisions for all of us. So it is incumbent upon us as a party, and particularly in a county like Passaic, where you do have an uphill battle to fight, to hold together, stick together, remember that we have an important message, and to get out that vote on election day. It's the thing that will make the difference. And, you know, I've never paid a whole lot of attention to polls because they change in a nanosecond. They'll change overnight. We can't let polls discourage us. What we have to say, and just the way, I mean, I'm willing to make a prediction on the election. It's the only one I'll make. Rodney's going to win. He's not taking that for granted. I mean, he has won every time. He has won by big numbers. He's the kind of representative you want to have in Washington, somebody who stands on principle, who will talk about what he believes in and then stick by it. But he doesn't take it for granted, so neither can any of us. I know John and his whole team is putting together a get out the vote effort that is really going to concentrate on the local elections, to build that base of support, to get everybody out for those people who are closest to you, who make those decisions that most affect your everyday life, and build support for the ticket all the way up. But that needs every one of you doing that extra little bit. You're all here because you're Republicans. You're all here because you support the party. That's taken for granted. I have never spoken at any one of these, and John can attest to it, because he's heard it so many times, without saying, you gotta just look for those extra 10 or 15 people that you know that aren't paying as much attention as you are, that don't care quite as much as you do, and tell them to pay attention, tell them to care, tell them to get out to vote, and tell them to get 10 more people. We do that, we can win and really change things here, and particularly in Passaic. It'd be wonderful. And it'd be wonderful for our legislature to try to get some things back on track down in Trenton, so the governor has the kind of support that he can really work with, truly work with, and we can all make a difference for New Jersey to get this to be the thing that we always talked about, the best place in which to live, work, and raise a family. I love this state. It's an important state. We've got so much to offer, and I think Republicans are a major, major part of that. But it's not going to happen if we don't understand we have an obligation to make it. It won't just happen. We have to make it happen. And that means working for all our good candidates. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for supporting the party. Thank you for supporting the Republican team here in Passaic. And make sure that you reach out to all those people that you know, who are not as involved as you are, and make sure they understand the importance of this November. Thank you all very, very much.
Well, we're very fortunate also to have Governor Bennett. And everyone asked me, when was Governor Bennett governor? And I'll let him tell the story, because he tells it better than anyone. But it was a very unique time in our history in the state of New Jersey. And we had an acting governor, and his term was up. And then for a whole week, we had to try to figure out who was going to be governor. We had a tied Senate, I believe. So it was a myriad of circumstances that were far beyond anyone's control who looked at the New Jersey Constitution. But Governor Bennett served well, and he served very well as a state senator and Senate majority leader. We were in the majority then, I keep forgetting that. And we had a great team. You know, Norton Robertson was there, Jerry Carnell was there, and I'm probably missing somebody else who was in the room that was there. But there was a great group of Republicans, 25. So it was great times. So I'd like at this opportunity, without further ado, to welcome Governor Bennett to the stage.
I think you'll be able to hear me. I really don't like to use the mic too often because it gives me a better opportunity to be able to talk to you a little bit. Thank you very much, John. It's really difficult to follow Governor Whitman. She just did an incredible job for us in this state and in our nation. Let us not forget that she left New Jersey to go work in the Bush administration and made us proud heading up the Environmental Protection Agency in Washington, D.C. So one of the few people that we've had from the state of New Jersey that has gone to serve in the cabinet. But because she did that we did not have a lieutenant governor back in those days, and that meant the president of the Senate became the acting governor. And in that case, that was Don DiFrancesco, who was the Senate president at that time, and I was the majority leader. So he moved up to become the governor for 11 months. But he chose not to run for re-election. And then that meant at the end of his term, there was a week that he was out of office. Governor Whitman's term was still going, but she was gone. And the president of the Senate got to fill that week. Well, unfortunately, we had a new redistricting, and it came out a tie. Well, 14 years I served as the majority leader. I finally get to be the Senate president, and it's a tie. I have to share the job. Story of my life, guys. So we say to Senator Cody, how are we going to do this? How are we possibly going to do it? Well, the difference in the Trenton back then than now is that people actually sat down and worked out their differences. And Senator Cody and I were able to put together a tied Senate so that we were able to move forward and to function and have government work. We split the week that we had, and I moved, I took the first term, so it went from DiFrancesco to Bennett, and from Bennett to Cody, and from Cody to McGreevy. Kind of went, downhill a little bit. But let me just tell you about my administration. My administration may have only lasted for 3.5 days. However, during that time, we had no scandals. I raised no taxes. And we partied for 4 days. 2 of my daughters had their engagement party and drum quacking during that time, which my wife and I paid for, may I? But I think if governors would follow that example of my administration and party more often, we would probably have a better time and get people together and communicate. Because that's what doesn't happen now. Republicans have difficulties talking to Republicans in some cases. I don't think in Passaic you'd ever think that that would be the case. However, believe me, in some places it happens. And then we have Democrats don't talk to each other, which is a good thing. And then we have Republicans and Democrats that can't talk to each other. And that's not good government. Good government, not any party has a total monopoly on what's right. I mean, we have 90-some% of what's right, but no party has a total monopoly. And you need to talk and share ideas. And when one party takes total control and closes out the other party, that's a danger. That's a danger to democracy. Whether it be all Republicans or all Democrats, it's still not a good, healthy thing if they close out the other party. And here in Passaic, you have an opportunity this year to get a constitutional officer, a county clerk, and 2 freeholders, and return Passaic to not a one party where people are closed out, but a 2-party system. All of you are going to do that and participate in doing that, but as Governor Whitman said, you have to turn around and help to get others out to do the same thing. I come from a county where every constitutional officer is a Republican and every freeholder is an officer. And there, we can communicate with the Democrats, but we have a monopoly on all the good ideas and we don't need them. And that's the good party, one-party rule. But in all seriousness, we do have interaction, and that's what you really need to do and what it takes. The thing I missed the most from being in office when I was the Senate President as well as the Majority Leader is having state troopers drive you. It took me 2.5 hours to get here today. If I'd had the trooper, I would have been here in about an hour and 5 minutes because they put the sirens on and the lights on. Nothing is greater than to be governor and go through the Lincoln Tunnel. They stop traffic and they just take you right through. It is the greatest thing in the world. I did it 6 times in 4 days. But I've also had the opportunity to serve this party in a lot of different positions. I've been a state committee man, I've been a county committee man, I was treasurer of the state party, I was a county chairman, state assemblyman, state senator, and acting governor. And so I can tell you with all of those kind of titles that there's an opportunity to be involved and to make a difference. And as long as the people that are serving in government want to make a difference for the overall good, we have a good party. People like Jerry Cardinale, who has served long and hard, and doesn't just represent his constituents. He represents people all over this state. I had the pleasure to serve with him and Norm Robertson as well as many other people. But the those 2 men were both part of the team that made a difference in the state. Under Christy Whitman, I don't know how many taxes we cut, but it's something like 52 taxes or something like that we cut. I mean, believe it or not, taxes actually got cut. And that's what Republicans set about doing, lowering the size of government and making it more efficient and making it work more. Tom Kean was the second governor I served under, and Tom Kean, who can't be here tonight, was not only Mr. Education and worked on higher education, was recognized as one of the leading education governors ever in this state or any other, but he also did a great deal for the environment, which is my love, and put a great deal of effort into putting on the books environmental laws that today are still modeled throughout the country. Christy Whitman, you've heard from her, and you know what she did and how the accomplishments were. Don DiFrancesco served longer than me, but not a whole long time in the 11 months, but he served in the Senate a long time. But he did something. He did something very important. During his administration, a tragedy hit, and we call it 9/11. And Donnie kept this state focused and made sure that the people that we lost across the river were not just numbers, but became faces, and he dealt with the families, and he was over to the site more times than I can even count, in trying to help and resolve the problems that we face, and he made us feel safe, and that was very important. And for that, Don DiFrancesco will always be remembered, even though it was less than a year that he served as the governor. I'll be remembered as the partying governor, but he made us feel safe, and that was very important. So there's a legacy of Republican leadership in this state that I think I'm very proud to be a part of, and I'm hoping that you're very proud to be a part of it. I talked too long, but since there were 4 of us, I was only going to go. But since there were 4 of us and it went down to 2, and she had to leave early, I figured, okay, I just wanted to do a slapstick. But we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun in politics, but there's a lot of responsibility. Your responsibility in November is to get out and let's make Passaic County a 2-party county once again. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, I'd like to introduce our phenomenal Republican ticket at this point. I'd like to start with our great congressman from the 11th District, who we're very proud of, and we're so glad that he now represents Passaic County. He's been a tremendous help to me. He's been a tremendous help to all the municipalities who he serves. And I'm so grateful that he's here with us tonight. Congressman Rodney Freeland.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you for being great, Chairman. Let's get down to brass tacks. We have 18 days. And as I get around, I did who's counting? I'm counting. I make every minute count because I believe in campaigning, and I've loved campaigning in Passaic County. I'll be campaigning with Claudia Chavez tomorrow in Wayne. What I hear when I go around is how angry people are, how upset they are about what's happening around the world. The respect that used to be part of our makeup as America, countries don't respect us the way they used to. Even our adversaries take a look at us and say, what are we made of? Where's the leadership that we used to represent? So I think we have an opportunity on November 4th to send a message to President Obama. We've had enough of his leadership. Let's get Republicans elected from the bottom of the ticket all the way up. Thank you very much.
I'm very happy to introduce our county clerk. I've gotten to work with her very closely on this campaign, and I have to say she's a joy to work with. She works hard, and she has served Passaic County well. We have something to be proud of, and we need to re-elect her. And it is very, very important that we all do what we can between now and then. 18 days is going to go by very quickly. But there's something like crazy, and I've never seen the spitfire that I've seen in our county clerk. I'd like to welcome Kristen Corrado.
Thank you, Chairman. I can't follow any of those speeches, but like the Congressman, I am also counting down the days. We have worked incredibly hard, and we're going to continue to work incredibly hard over the next 18 days and nights, and it would be a wonderful thing to be reelected and have my freeholder running mates John Capo and Claudia Chavez elected with me on November 4th. And if we continue to work together, I think we can make that happen. Thank you.
Next on our ticket is our union guy. There is a union guy in the Republican Party, and we should be very happy about that. He's been a leader of his union. He has served well. He has opened a lot of doors for this Republican Party, for which I am eternally grateful. And I'd like to introduce this time John Capo. John.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and as John said, I am a union man. I'm proud of it, and I think one of the things I absolutely would like to try to do is bring the unions and the Republican Party together. Kristen and Claudia, I apologize for this next little story because I know you probably heard it 100 times, but when I announced to a lot of the labor leaders in the state of New Jersey that I was running as a Republican, I got a strange look from all of them. And recently when I've gone around the state and around the county and spoken to Republican groups and announced I'm a labor guy, I get the same look. So I think I have a bit of a different perspective that probably hasn't been in government. And that's the perspective I'd like to bring to the Freeholder Board in Passaic County. And as previous speakers have stated, it's 7 Democrats, and that's not good for anyone. So with everyone's work in this room, I feel myself, Claudia, the county clerk, Kristen Corrado, we can be successful. It's 18 days. I'm new to this. It's a lot of hard work, and we are counting down the days. But it's a good experience. And I have 2 daughters who both play travel soccer. And I tell them this, when you walk off the field at the end of the game, if you tried your hardest, that's all you can ask of yourself. And that's what I'm doing now, campaigning with my running mates. And I thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. Thank you, John.
Last but certainly not least on our ticket, Claudia Chavez from my hometown of Clifton is a phenomenal candidate, working very hard, burning through a lot of shoes. She's already sent me a shoe bill for this year. But she's really great, and it's good to have this Hispanic member on the ticket because, as we know, this county is becoming increasingly diverse, and she speaks to the values of the Hispanic communities as well as the values of education. And as a immigrant to this country who came here at the age of 7 years old, she's bright and smart, and I'm so glad to have her on our ticket, Claudia Chavez.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, everybody, for being here. In fact, we have 18 days, and I think all of us are counting. I mean, everybody says, no, we're not counting. Yes, we are counting every moment, every second, every minute. And it's a very exciting moment and an exciting time for us. We are working very hard. I have a great team, Kristen, John. We go out there and we are bringing these votes in. It's important that all of you go out there and help us out. We need all the help that we can get. Tomorrow I'm wearing speakers. I'm walking with my Sennheiser, so everybody knows that he walks really fast, so I'm ready. It's important that we go out there, talk to everybody. Like I said, I can't thank John enough and my teammates enough for all the support, my friends, my family, and all of you. So it's important that we go out there, we talk to everybody, and let's do this. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. So thank you for everything.
I would be totally remiss if I didn't introduce the elected officials. I'm only going to introduce them for a wave, so don't get all nervous, everybody. Okay, State Senator Jerry Carnell. Assemblyman Robert Law. We heard previously from Senator O'Toole. I want to acknowledge he was here tonight, as well as Assemblyman Romano. They were both here. We have some mayors here. We have Mayor Goldberg from Hawthorne, Mayor Dan Mahler from Wanacue, Mayor Randy George from North Haledon. Randy's my former running mate, so I remember him well. We have our former freeholder, Richard Duhane. Former freeholder and State Senator Norm Robertson. We have Councilman from Wayne and my new treasurer, James Gimenez. have councilmen who are running for re-election in Little Falls. Joe Mazzie, Bill Organisac, and not running this year but leading the team, Lou Fontana, our county secretary. Now, I think I've gotten every elected official. If I didn't, please raise your hand because I just didn't see you. Oh, Councilman, I'm sorry. Councilman from Wanacue, and I'm just leaving a blank because I'm sitting here being embarrassed. Thank you. I apologize. What? This thing is humming and I'm getting very nervous. I'm sorry. And our state committee woman, Marie Sieber, who I couldn't see. Municipal leaders, I didn't start introducing yet, but Dan Dracovic is here from West Milford. Well, what other municipal leaders am I missing? I apologize. Okay, again, this will be a 2-minute conclusion, but it's really important. We're very close in this election. We've polled. Our numbers look good. Kristen's in a dead heat. We're just slightly behind within the margin of error for Freeholder. This can happen this year, but it's only going to happen if we all pull together and get the job done. You've heard from everybody, it's 18 days. We need to get those mail-in ballots in. We need to knock on doors. We need to get people to the polls. We need board workers in Patterson, Passaic, and Clifton, so we make sure that the election isn't stolen from us. We have a lot of things that we need to do, and we've only got 18 days to do it. So I need all of your help. I'm glad all of you are here tonight. We appreciate your contribution. Anything you can do to help us elect Republicans is going to make this county a better place. So I know you're all believers, so please believe we can win this and come out and help us. Thank you. I want to thank my officers who are always there for me, my finance chairman, George Decker. I already introduced our state committee woman, Marie Sieber. Our new treasurer, James Gimenez, councilman. Our secretary, Dawn Cody. And of course, my vice chairman, who I couldn't get anything done without. And her counterpart is my legal counsel, Bill Rocca, who does a great job. And I know Rodney wanted me to make an announcement that he's having the House Majority Leader, Congressman McCarthy from California, at a fundraiser on Monday. So if any of you would like to see Congressman McCarthy and enjoy a reception with Congressman Frelinghuysen, we have the information, so we'd like to let you know. Thank you, everyone, and good night.